Hello everyone, my name is Albert, also known as Banshee. So glad that you guys are here watching my video. Just wanted to go over my deck list before we get into this Legacy League. I think Legacy is a fantastic format. If you don't play Legacy, don't have a place to play Legacy, talk to your local game store. I bet you people want to play. There's kind of a way around WPN, and that's by running full proxy events but doing store credit instead of using WPN pricing like the promo packs and stuff like that. So it's a great way to be able to get the community even if you are in an area where people don't want to invest a couple of grand in cards. Anyways, I'm going to go over the deck list. So I have pulled this deck list. This was a Brazilian deck list that won, I believe, is like a challenger. I don't know exactly what it was. It's been unchanged. I've been playing this in paper at my own Friday Night Magic's Legacy events where we do it once a month. I'm running Flagstones of Trokair. This is a little Wasteland protector, and it also pairs well with Cataclysm, which is a sideboard card where each player picks one thing of XYZ permanents and sacrifices everything else. It lets you be ahead on 2 lands while your opponent's back at 1. It's like the hope is we save our Vial, save a land, kill the Flagstones. We have 2 lands now. We have our Vial, or if we have another equipment like Meteor Sword or Pre-War Formalwear, which is just like the best card in the best equipment in the game for this deck. This card's crazy. This plus Wisp and Phelia is just insane. So, that's like my favorite part of the deck. One of my favorite parts of the deck. It's just a pretty standard taxes list. We're still playing Thalia. She's really good into a lot of the Legacy meta. A lot of, spells, Force of Will, all that stuff. I'm also running Mother of Runes. She's like the greatest blocker. She protects all my other cards in the deck, all of our hate pieces. Phelia is the good dog, the most powerful good dog in the game. So she was rocking and rolling in the league. We got Solitude for additional removal. It's our copies 5 and 6 of Swords to Plowshares. And then Spirit of the Labyrinth to stop people from drawing, which it is relevant. I was kind of surprised. I've been surprised every time I play it. It's really good. Stops Brainstorm, stops Tamio. I don't think I faced much of that. But it's a really good card. On the sideboard, I'm running Deafening Silence, which just says each player can't cast more than 1 non-creature, so it stops Storm, a lot of combo decks. Containment Priest is good when we are playing against like Sneak and Show, but honestly our main deck's really powerful into Sneak and Shows you saw in the last Legacy video. Wrath of the Skies for the energy decks, Cataclysm for go wide decks as well. Clarion Conqueror is really good into decks where there's a lot of activated abilities, planeswalkers, artifacts. It's a good card. It just hates a lot of our stuff out. I have Surgical and Faerie Macabre to deal with, more graveyard stuff. And then over here, I've got, what am I doing? I'm trying to pull this over so y'all can see. I've got Batterskull for the grinding matchups. I've got Disruptor Flute. I've got 2 copies of that. Deals with Tamio. Deals with a lot of stuff. It's a really good card. And then I also have Grafdigger's Cage. Just stop stuff from coming into play from the yard, like Grizzled Brand and other things like that. Anyways, hope you all enjoy the video. Like, share, subscribe. Comment below. It helps a ton when you comment below. Helps give my channel more activity so that YouTube then pushes it to more people, because Death and Taxes is the greatest deck to ever be conceived. It's my favorite. Hope you enjoy. I did it again. I recorded and I shut my mic off like an idiot, so I'm going to be going through my first match. This isn't the right one. One second, guys. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I'm going to be going through my first match, and I accidentally, like I said, recorded with no audio. So this is me talking over the video so that you guys can enjoy this video. This is the Legacy League. I believe I already have an intro, so we're gonna get started. Anyways, hopefully I'm fixing my audio here as well, so that's a big step in the right direction. So anyways, I am looking at my hand. I decided to go ahead and keep it. My opponent leads on a fetch, and I put the Witch Blast Meadow in and jam out my Aether Vial, in which my opponent decides to respond with a fetch into the Meticulous Archive, and then Wastelands my land, and then pendings my Aether Vial, which is most unfortunate. So I respond with Wasteland hitting their archive into Karakas. My opponent then plays Wasteland, hits my Karakas, and then I lead into Port. My opponent draws another Wasteland, Wastelands my Port, and then they go into Flooded Strand. And if you look at the clock, I skipped a lot of it because we just sat there passing back and forth and discarding. And it is now turn 12, where my opponent plays Flooded Strand into Island into Ponder. Then I get a Wish Plus Meadow and jam out Aether Vial. My opponent decides to Force of Will that, as they should. They go into Tundra, play a Flow State, and then I draw a second Witch Enchanter, in which I bolted into Thalia. Thalia is good here. My opponent leads into Tamiyo, and actually this Thunder Trap Trainer, I have no idea what that card does still. So I decide while my opponent's tapped out to Solitude the Tamiyo because that card snowballs, and I jam out a Plains. Click in with Thalia because my opponent can't block it to kill it. And then I try to cast Pre-War, but I'm bad at this game and forget that Thalia's attacks applies to me as well. So I undo that and just pass the turn. My opponent then swords my Thalia, paying the 2, and hits me with their Thunderclap. I'm able to then Phelia and swords my opponent's creature. And then my opponent swords my Phelia. I then get to jam Pre-War Formalwear. Making a mistake here. I grabbed Phelia, but I really should have grabbed Flickerwisp to get the immediate value off of it. But that's okay. My opponent then leads into Quantum Riddler. I top deck a Swords, and I source the Plowshares of Quantum Riddler, where I get to click in with Phelia, exiling the Pre-War, and I also get to do the line that I should have done originally, which is bring back the Flickerwisp, targeting the Pre-War, and then exiling that to then get more value off of that, in which my opponent scoops there, and we go to sideboarding. For sideboards, I bring in Deafening Silence, and I don't even remember what I cut, but cut a couple cards. Then here we are in game number 2. I decide to keep a no-colored Vial hand. My opponent leads on Flooded Strand. I lead on Port into Vial. My opponent cracks the Flooded Strand, and they get a basic island, and then they consign to memory my Vial. My opponent then plays Brainstorm on their turn, gets a fetch, cracks it, picking up a duel, and pondering. I then play out my Wasteland, and I decide to blow them up off of their Tundra, taking them off white. My opponent goes to Ponder, and they get a Wasteland. They take me off of Port, leading to a very similar game as last time. They go Brainstorm into Tundra, and I'm stuck passing to them as I have no lands. They go Flow State. I pass again. They play another land, and they're just snowballing ahead. I finally draw Plains. We go Plains into Deafening Silence. Opponent goes Underground Sea, and I draw a second land, getting to play Spirit of the Labyrinth, which should lock them out of a lot of things that they're doing. But unfortunately, they have the sword, so they hit that. My opponent then plays the Barrowgoyf, which is the most broken card ever. I get to play a Karakas, and I jam out a Stoneforge Mystic. I end up grabbing Pre-War, and they pending my Deafening Silence on their turn. I get to respond with the Solitude, which is the reason why I waited to hit the Barrowglyph, is because now they can't counter it because they've cast their 1/9 creature spell until Deafening Silence gets dealt with. So it gives you an opening. It's a 1 mana. It gives you opening to deal with your opponent's stuff. That's the benefit of it. And then they also swords my Stoneforge. I jam out Pre-War. They hard cast Force of Will. They brainstorm. They get a Wasteland, and they blow me up off my Karakas. I then go Plains and jam out the Spirit of the Labyrinth. And they hard cast another Force of Will, which is just crazy. Opponent brainstorms. I play a Plains. Jam out my Wisp, hitting my own Plains so that, there's nothing else for me to hit over there. So I just have an untapped source. And they decide to swords my Plains. And then play out their Phelia. Luckily, I wasn't too worried about Phelia here because it doesn't really do that much at this point with no other target on the board. So I draw a Wisp and I Solitude the Phelia. Opponent jams out a second Phelia. Goes to combat. And hits me. I go Recruiter. I decided to grab a Mother of Runes because I can cast it immediately, so I jam out Mom. Opponent ponders. Kills my Mom. Clicks in with Phelia. And I didn't block, so they get to ninjutsu in Kaido, which is really gross. And from here, I play out Lion Sash, which is my top deck. And I just know there's no way I'm going to make it back from this. They Wrath the Skies my board, and then I scoop there. So now into game 3. I didn't change the sideboard at all. I look at my hand and I decide to keep it because I have a lot of planes, which we've been Wasteland battling one another. My opponent goes Flooded Strand. I go planes into Stoneforge. I decide to grab the Meteor Sword here because I have another Stoneforge's backup. My opponent fetches into Tundra and swords is my Stoneforge. So back to me, I go planes into Spirit of the Lab, keeping up a 1 white for the swords. My opponent jams out Phelia on my end step and I swords that almost immediately. Opponent jams out Tamiyo, which I have it locked down with the Spirit of the Labyrinth. But my opponent swords it, so I just have to deal with that. I then go tap 2. I draw Vial, tap 2 for Stoneforge, grabbing Pre-War, and I keep the Karakas up to deal with the Tamiyo, and that is where they scoop, and we get our first win. So now on to round number 2, where my audio is working while I'm playing, so you get better commentary. Okay, audio's working now. So we got paired up for round 3. We won the die roll. We're going to go first. We're going to say yes here. And we are going to get into it. This is quite interesting. We are going to... I think this is keepable. We're going to keep this because we're on the play. We're going to hope my opponent does not have, Forceful. I think we just jam planes into Vial and see what happens. Okay. We go planes, and we're going to play Aether Vial. And then we pass turn. Let's see what my opponent has. It's really good that this landed. Opponent's going to Heath. They could be on a green-white taxes list. We're going to say yes. Drew a second Vial. I think we just jam Port. And here's my next question. So they can fetch. I think we hold up this just in case. Okay, they're cracking their Heath. Opponent is also playing planes. This is just going to be a mirror match, which is okay. We're going to tap them down, and we have to pass through their turn. Opponent's floating a white. Arid Mesa, sure. I'm going to tick up to 2. And we drew a Karakas, which is really good here. This is a tough call. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to jam the Karakas. I think in upkeep, again, I take them off of their white source. They're fetching for red. Okay, this is interesting. So this is not taxes. Upkeep, I'm going to tap down their mountain. And then in end step, we actually are going to play the Phelia with the Vial. They have a plateau, sure. Red, white for... Okay, Goblin Bombardment. Makes sense to me. This kind of makes me want to actually play Stoneforge. So we're going to play Stoneforge. It's tough. Because Stoneforge just gets immediate value on the upkeep. Maybe this might not be wrong. Might not be right. They might have Solitude, which doesn't seem like they do. Okay, we're going to search. We're going to grab the Meteor Sword, and we're going to kill the Goblin Bombardment. What's the Vial set to? It's set to 2. We're going to keep it at 2. We drew a Wisp, making me wish I didn't keep it at 2, but that's okay. I think we just play it slow and keep Stoneforge up. Okay, second Plains. Voice of Victory, stopping me from casting spells on their turn. This is going to be kind of gross. Let's see what else they do. Second Voice of Victory. Okay. This is going to get out of hand pretty fast, so I think we take the bombardment out. Play this out. Kill the bombardment. We're going to have a whole turn cycle to deal with these shenanigans. On end step, I get 2 Vial. Phelia is going to go unchecked for a whole turn, which is going to be crazy. We're going to take the Vial up to 3. This is interesting. We drew a Recruiter. Okay, this changes things a little bit. We're going to kill one of the Voice of Victories, I think. Because this will come down. Block with 1. I guess we go to combat with Phelia. She's going to exile this. My opponents can choose to double block. They're just going to block 1, which is significantly better for me here. Oh, they are double blocking. I've got a couple options here. I can Wisp out. I think we just let Phelia die and we don't bounce it back with Karakas. We deal all 2 to 1. Doesn't matter that much. My opponent's stuff's just going to get really big really fast, which is okay. So we're going to bring the sword back. The sword is going to kill a Voice of Victory. And then we're going to say go. See what my opponent has. Opponent is attempting to swords Stoneforge, which is okay. We're going to pre-war. Bring back the Phelia. Opponent is cracking Sunbake to draw a card, which is good for us. Playing an Ocelot Pride. Okay, it doesn't have haste, so that's a good thing. For us, at least. She's what? She's a big... Okay, in end step here, we're going to activate Vial. We're going to say yes. We're going to put in the Recruiter. And they scoop there. Sweet. So we got it. We got it. I wish my MTGO wasn't being so laggy, but that's okay. This seems like some type of go wide token strategy. I think I bring in a Batterskull here. And I brought in a Cataclysm. And I actually think I cut Spirit of the Labyrinth. And I run it back like that. But opponent had a lot of basics. I don't have a white source in this hand, so it's kind of brutal. This is a horrible hand, but whatever. We're going to keep this. I think I put back the Batterskull. Opponent's probably bringing Pending in. Okay, Plains into Ocelot Pride, sure. I literally hate that card so much. Unfortunately, we just go Flagstones into Vial and pass turn to my opponent. Opponent's board is going to get pretty wide. I probably should have brought in the... what's it called? The wind one. Okay, sure. I think we just lose here. Any land is what's going to end up happening. Thalia is actually kind of decent into this because she has first strike. Or just can jam Thalia. Pass turn. Next turn, we start double spelling. Okay, opponent has Karakas for our Thalia, which is kind of cheeks. Okay, they're bouncing Thalia, sure. Static Prison on my Vial. Out. I can't escape this deck in any format, eh? We're taking 4 here. That hurts. Hopefully I draw a land here. That's not a land. Ooh, this is not going to be good for us. I'll go Stoneforge. They probably have removal for this, but we're going to grab Batterskull. It's unfortunate that this is going to get stuck in our hand, but that's okay. Like, if I survive and I'm able to deploy Batterskull and they don't have removal, we're good. If not, it's just real bad for us. Bombardment, so they're going to sack these 2 to kill my Stoneforge. Unfortunate. Sure, Voice of Victory. Sure, Stoneforge dies. I think I concede here. I'm not coming back from this. Don't want to waste your time or my time. We're going to begin sideboarding. And we're going to make some correct assessments here. Wrath of Skies needs to come in. We're going to trim a Thalia. Thalia's really good, but into this it's not fantastic. I'm going to trim on a Lion Sash. Bring the Lion Sash back in. So we want to see Wrath of Skies in the opening hand. Cataclysm, Singular Vial. Don't think that gets me there. I don't necessarily think this gets me there either, but, you know, it's better than my other hand. So we'll keep this. I think I'm going to put the Witch Enchanter back and call it a day. We lead Plains into Vial. Pass turn. Opponent goes Plains into Guide of Souls. Sure. We're going to take up. Say yes. I'm going to go Plains and pass. I want my opponent to just dump their hand into what they're doing. Static Prison. Triggers. Yoinking my Vial. Activate Vial. Say yes. And throw out Mom. Opponent jams Ocelot Pride. I think I give them one more turn with whatever they got going on here. Like, I don't want them to play 2-drop. It also changes what I do if I draw a land here. It's good that I have my one of here. Ooh, this is tough. I think I don't know what I do. Okay. I think we fake the swords. Okay, I need to land big time. That's what we wanted. That's exactly what we wanted. Okay. Okay. It's an X3. Let's go to blocks. Block here. And my mom is going to die anyways. So I'm going to block here. I'm going to give this pro white. And we're going to hope that I draw land here. I need to land so desperately. Because it's going to be a pretty big blowout. Oh well. The agitate, don't die. That's fine. X equals 1. Boom. We're going to combat. Here we go. A Braid. Sure. Swords. Sure. That's fair. Opponent's down to 1. That's good for us. So we drew Flagstones, which is excellent. We're going to go ahead and grab Phelia here. Okay. Opponent's down to 2 lands. We've got a Recruiter online. But Johnny's fine. Take R1. Take that, no problem. What would I be comfortable with? I'd be comfortable with swords. Mom and Phelia. That's interesting. I want to take care of this, though. Hit this out. Okay, let's hope my opponent doesn't have second of Johnny. Voice of Victory is fine. We're getting drained. This is pretty brutal. I gotta take care of this guy. Yeah, we're gonna block that all day. Beautiful. Oh, this is tough. This is really tough. I think a Johnny's more of a threat. I can't cast things on their turn, so I just have to kind of deal with it. If a Johnny flips, I'm cooked. We pop a Johnny here. And we jam the good dog. So just hope my opponent does not top deck removal. Amped Raptor, okay. Bombardment, sure. My dog's dying here. Man. We had him for a while there. Huh, Solitude's pretty good here. Kind of shuts off their whole game plan. Unfortunately, it seems as though they have better top decks than we do. Makes sense. Oh, sure. My best draw here is not that. That's actually a real crap draw. What do I want more than anything right now? I want... Honestly, pre-war top deck would be kind of crazy. So what's in my yard? Oh yeah, I have a Wisp in the yard, so pre-war, that's not going to do it. I can take out one of those two things. Batterskull would be good. Don't know if I can get out of this, though. It just doesn't do it. Oh yeah, it's an artifact. Can't even use it. Yeah, they shoot it. Oh yeah. 3, 4, 5, 8. No. Yeah, they win here. That was the last thing they needed. Man. Yeah, then they just shoot me down. We drew a plane, so that's not it. Okay. We tried. This seems like it's kind of good. We're going to keep these cards. It's funny, hands that I think are like really slow into like these other decks are actually really fast. Beautiful. See what my opponent has now. Is this Tron? This seems like it could be Tron. Island, sure. That's Affinity, maybe. Chromux, sure. For a Chalice on 1, sure. Chalice on 0 would be really funny. Turn 3, we've got a crazy play here, too. Okay, opponent is taking it slow, and I will do the same. Spirit of Labyrinth. Let's go. What's really, really funny here... Let's go to combat. Oh, I've got 2 wisps. Okay, this is good. I think the land is better. So we're going to pay this. Pay 3 life and Flickerwisp. Let's hit that first. Sure, I don't draw cards. This is going to be really funny. Because we're both just not drawing cards here. What a blowout. Oh my word. This is crazy. Okay, swinging in with Flickerwisp, taking my opponent down to 14. The Flickerwisp is returning my Witch Enchanter, and I blow up the Chrome Mox because I don't care. I don't have any single target things. My opponent's down to 1 land, a Hull Breacher, and can't play 1-drops. I have Flagstones. What do I do here? I go to combat with these 2 and the Witch Enchanter, I guess. Nice scoop there. Sweet, we got it. I'm assuming this is some type of affinity or they're trying to wheel us. I don't know what their play is. I think I should run it back as is. Maybe I throw a Surgical as a 1-of in there just to see what happens. I can hit something and see their deck list. Swords seem pretty bad though. That's funny because just trim on my 1-drops and play more heavy stuff. I felt really good on the draw. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're good here. Turn 1 Wasteland, turn 2 Vial off of Port, Tomb, LED, Petal. Days Undoing, sure. Interesting. Oh my god. I just time walked myself. We're gonna go Flagstones and say go. Ah, yeah, that's gross. We're gonna end up with nothing. This card is so crazy. Sure. We'll pop the Seagate, and then my opponent has blue. I think I scoop here. Concede. Yeah. We're gonna go first. Things are gonna be okay this time. I'm not gonna click through my first turn because that was a huge blowout. This is better. It's not as good as I wanted, but that's okay. Plains. Urza Saga, eh? What will I draw here? Yeah, pretty good. What's funny is, like, in Legacy, I feel like I have a lot of outs. The top decks feel so much better. Every card feels more relevant, and the deck list is almost identical. That's what's crazy to me. It's like, my deck list is so similar. Opponent jams LED, makes sense to me. Yeah, okay. I really need like a Swords Plowshares right here or something. I don't have anything to do this turn. Neither does my opponent, which is good for me. They discarded Narset. Nasty Narset. They're Force Willing. Thalia makes sense. Okay. They're down to 5 cards in hand, which is really good for us. Okay. So they have a double Force of Will. Thalia lands. I could have played this, couldn't I? Bolt. Chromox. Imprinting. A Day's Undoing, sure. Okay. Mom. Play. Pay 3 life, yes. I think I go to combat here first. Play Mother of Runes here. This is tough. Hull Breacher is brutal into this matchup. Taking Hull Breacher. How much does this cost? 3? This card's great. So it costs 4. Because next turn I can end step Phelia. If I untap with this, it's kind of over for my opponent. It's pretty good. We're going to go to combat. I shoot out the Chromox. Opponent's floating blue for a Hull Breacher horror. Where are they putting it? Opponent's not blocking. Okay, now I have to ask myself, what is the better value engine? Is it Recruiter or is it Stoneforge? I think it's Stoneforge. No, but Recruiter gets me almost everything in my deck. So we recruit. We gotta think these plays through. Recruiter grabs Solitude. Opponent is going to attempt to Days Undoing or whatever the heck they do. And we're going to remove it before they do. I think I respond now before they draw, and I think I kill the Hull Breacher. Get rid of this Garbo card. And we schmeat this guy. Okay, does opponent pitch another card for Chromeblock? Now I can, now that this is online, I can like Phelia, Recruiter, get Flickerwisp, Wisp, Flipper, all kinds of stuff. So you remove another Days Undoing. So I have 2 in exile. Narset, sure. I just don't care about this. They could pedal for LED. It's so funny. My reasoning for not grabbing or doing Stoneforge here was that if opponent, spins the wheel, I couldn't have put out what I wanted to grab with Stoneforge. No way. Okay, opponent scoops there. We got it. We are 2-1 in Legacy. See? Way better for our deck. If you are a Modern player and you like playing Modern, highly recommend switch over to Legacy. We can play Death and Taxes in Legacy. There is a lot of ways that you can actually get your shop playing Legacy. Even WPN stores can run Legacy events that are full proxy. They just can't use any WPN pricing, so they can do store credit, they can do other things. I recommend, if you don't have a 60 card format at your shop and you watch my videos, you like Magic, push for full proxy Legacy. I'm telling you, we've only done it once at my shop. It's been a huge success, and we're doing it again soon. So here's to the next match. Okay, here we go. Round number 4 for Legacy. We won the die roll. We're going to go ahead and play first. I think this is keepable enough. It stinks that we don't have a basic, but Flagstones basically is just a second basic. Let's see what happens here. I just don't have any turn 1 removal, which is kind of cheeks, but we'll go 1 Aether Vial and pass the turn. Aether Vial lands, so that's good on our part. Let's see what our opponent has for us. Opponent leads Verdant. This is interesting. We're going to say yes. Ooh, okay. This is weird. We're going to go Flagstones. Keeping Flagstones. Say yes. I think I just jam Thalia and say go. Hope my opponent isn't some type of creature combo deck. Opponent is fetching with the Verdant Catacombs. Getting a basic forest. Okay, let's see what they've got going on. Swamp for the opponent. I'm going to say yes here. It's quite interesting. We're going to lead on the Rishadan Port. We're going to attack in with Thalia. Hope my opponent doesn't have a Bowmasters, because that feels really, really bad. And go to end step. Okay, upkeep. I'm going to tap my opponent's swamp down. They have a second swamp, sure. I don't know what my opponent's doing. It's a little weird for me. I'm going to activate Vial. We're going to say yes. We're going to put Stoneforge in. That could be some type of graveyard combo with the black and green. Just make me think that. Could grab Lion Sash here and eat like 3 things out of the yard. Could also just grab Meteor Sword here. Now this is interesting. I'm going to keep the Vial on 2. And we are going to... Ooh, Wasteland's interesting. Doesn't do anything, but... We're going to go with Thalia. Swing in. This is interesting because, like, I really just want to hit my opponent off of the land and continue choking them even more. But then my whole little gimmick of bouncing Thalia doesn't do anything. Let's see what my opponent draws. I should have probably tapped differently. I should have tapped down the forest. Okay, opponent plays a Bayou. Go to end step. Activate the Stoneforge. We're going to Meteor Sword. Is going to take my opponent's forest. Okay, opponent's tapping for green. Sure. Casting an Endurance. Putting my Flagstones back in the deck. This is kind of interesting. Like, if I guess they can't do anything at this point. We're going to tap them completely down. Okay, we're going to take up to 3. Ooh, now I don't feel so bad doing this. We're going to Wasteland my opponent's Bayou. Man, this is a tough call. Because I want to take the Endurance, which I just think I do. Say yes. Eat the Endurance. Then we go to combat. I forget Karakas is just a singular mana to do, so I can do 1, 2, 3. We're going to port my opponent in the upkeep, tap down a swamp, pass over to my opponent. Another forest. Opponent is paying 2 for an Overlord of the Belmer. Sure. Card's good. I just think I have a really fast clock on my opponent right now to where it doesn't really matter too much. Say no to that. Well, that's kind of convenient. I mean, if my opponent doesn't just scoop it up here, I don't know. I mean, we're just kind of watching my opponent do nothing. Let's see what my opponent has. I Twitch. So they're on Nick Fit. I mean, I assumed as much, but we go to end step. I think I just eat the other half here. I don't know if they just didn't draw anything good out of their deck. We're going to keep that where it is. So now I draw the dog. This is like really interesting. 1, 2, 3. So this, I mean, they have the, I don't actually know what they took back in hand. Let me see the script. Game log. Okay, so they didn't return any cards to their hand. Is there a way for me, so let's say they have Endurance, which is their flash threat. Is there a way for me to present lethal? I just think there is. We just go 1, 2, 3. I think I equip onto this. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's literally it. I'll go to combat. Send in with everything. Okay, they're destroying 1 thing. Okay. That makes sense. Well, this is interesting because they're going to block 1 thing, I guess. Probably Thalia, if it was my guess. Oh, the Skyclave. Sure. Pass over to my opponent. I got no problem with that turn. Okay, in end step, I'm going to cast the Phelia. I mean, maybe I have to grind this game out a little bit more. I'd just be impressed if they can come back from this. Yeah, we're just going to keep this where it is. Drew a second an Aether Vial. I think I just kind of equip here. I just have to get 2 through. Boop. Okay. Thalia is going to click in here. Okay. Play a land. Pass turn to the opponent. Oops, sorry guys. I skipped there. Yeah, I didn't think they had any outs. Sorry if that made the screen look weird a little bit. So this is Nick Fit. Surgical is interesting. I think I'm just bringing in Surgical and Batterskull. It's going to be a little bit grindier. I'm going to trim a Vial and a Spirit of the Labyrinth. And so go. Okay, this is interesting. Opponent's on the play. This gives me a easy way to... I'm going to keep this. This gives me a good way to answer their turn 1 threats with swords. I got plenty of land. And then, like, here they just go swamp. I Twitch. So I'm just going to swords the I Twitch so I don't get any value out of it. Or I cast Mom. Mom kind of crazy. They mold pretty heavily. So we're just gonna hit the Eye Twitch. Okay. We're gonna, yeah. Oof. This is kind of crazy. Boop. Sure. I'm actually gonna let the Bowmasters sit for a little bit. Because we land a Mom. Oh, Cabal Therapy, what are they naming? Stoneforge, sure. You get to rip that out of my hand. No problem. Opponent gets a free 2 on me. That's fine. Thalia's pretty good. Thalia backed up by Mom is really stinking good. Let's see what my opponent does here. Opponent's now losing in combat. I'm going to jam another Mom. Go to combat with Thalia. And then in my opponent's upkeep, I just tap down their swamp. Wasteland, pretty good too. This gives me a little bit more freedom to take them off lands. We should go to combat here. Click in with Thalia. Man, I was thinking about going. My Legacy Night is coming up here on literally next week, and part of me has been like, man, maybe I should just play Yorion. But 60 cards feels kind of good. I'm just gonna keep clicking in here. Batterskull is cool. Good to go to combat. Good to attack. I might be a little bit too conservative here with what I've got, but that's okay. My opponent's gonna start going to discard. Funny enough. Now Phelia is pretty sweet. What's really powerful? She's just really powerful. So this is actually gonna keep me in charge on this game. Let's go to upkeep here. I get to tap my opponent's land down. What's great is like I get to wait until end step to play Phelia. It's like the fact that they don't have a land here is kind of crazy. We're gonna throw Phelia out because they can't play a land at this point, which is perfect. And I scoop there. Sweet. So we got it. Clean 2-0. We're going into match number 5, playing Legacy. We're 3-1, so we already went positive, so I'm happy with the league. Games just feel slower. This is a sweet avatars that do this. That's pretty sweet. Huh. On the draw, this is interesting. I'm going to keep this. On the draw, it's good because I turn 1, I can either Wasteland or Swords, depending on what my opponent does. Let's see what my opponent does. Opponent leads. Okay. So I know what they're on. We're going to lead on this Wasteland. Opponent's on Belcher. We're going to yield to the turn. Either that, they're on the land destruction deck that I've seen running around. So there's a basic amount. So they might just be on the land destruction plan. We're going to lead Plains and pass the turn. Opponent mulled down to, what, 4? Which is crazy. It's my turn. I'm going to yield through turn. And then in my opponent's end step, I'm going to throw Phelia out. Oh, opponent has an Ancient Tomb into a Chrome Mox. Okay. The Blood Moon exiled. Sure. Okay. We're going to respond to that. We're going to throw Phelia out. Sure. That's fine with me. This is pretty interesting. I think I get to play this. Pay 3 life. I get to go 1, 2, 3. Part of me wants to blow the Chrome Mox up or the Trinisphere up. Maybe I just hold that for a second. I think I cast Stoneforge, getting Meteor Sword, and then I get to go to combat with Phelia. As much as I want to grow my Phelia, I can just hit the Chrome Mox, which is really funny because then my opponent can either exile a card from their hand or just have a useless card. Okay, sure. So I ripped a card from their hand. Okay, opponent's paying 4 for a 1 ring. That's perfectly fine. You gain protection from everything. So my opponent gains protection from everything. So this is funny. Because I pay 2, activate Stoneforge. I think I Meteor Sword. Hit the Ancient Tomb. I should have hit the Trinisphere there, actually. That's my mistake. We get to go to combat. Swing with Phelia. Hit the Meteor Sword. Then in end step, we have to drop the sword, blowing up their mountain. Opponent's going to lose a life. They're going to draw 2 cards, but that's okay. I kind of like their Trinisphere. Interesting. So we're playing as a prison deck. I don't really know what to do into prison. Kind of want to bring Disruptor Flute in. So our deck is like kind of weak to, what's it called? We're just going to overboard. My deck is kind of weak to Blood Moon, so I want to be kind of mindful of that. But we got basics in this hand, so I'm cool with this hand. Okay, opponent leads on Chrome Mox. It's a Fury backed up. Okay. Chrome Mox. Trinisphere. Okay. I'm going to lead Plains. So go. That's pretty crazy. Now, this is the interesting thing. Like, my opponent doesn't really have anything that they're doing. Like, they have access to a bunch of mana, sure, but, like, okay. This is interesting, because what's really powerful is I can hit this, but I can also just, like, jam Phelia next turn. I think this is just what I do. I just hold up Phelia. I hope my opponent, like, taps out for the 1 ring. I'm just okay if my opponent kills this. It lands. Here's a port. That's good. I hit Trinisphere out on attack. I attack. I shoot out Trinisphere. I can kind of establish my board here where I can Mom, Wasteland, and then in upkeep I tap their mountain down. And that seems pretty good. Fury. That card's gross, for sure. Oh, they hardcast that. Yeah, makes sense. Cast swords for 3 on the Fury. That's so funny. You play another land, okay. There's another Trinisphere. Sure, I don't care. There's another Phelia. This is hilarious. I think Skyclave hits the Chrome Mox here. And I just, like, don't give a rip about... I just choose to not give a rip about the Trinispheres in play, as is. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, we're going to go to combat. I'm going to attack in. I'm going to pay 3 for a Wisp. We're going to hit our own Skyclave. Go to end step. Hit my opponent's Chrome Mox. This is a 1 ring? I kind of hope it's a 1 ring. Okay, choose the same mode. Okay, so you're dealing 2 damage to each creature, sure. There's another Wasteland. So now I have enough mana to port my opponent. I can port my opponent and cast Phelia on end step, which is crazy. This is interesting as well. I think we just go Stoneforge. Yes. Pre-War. And they scoop there. Okay, that was awesome. We did it. And my opponent, Matthias Hardstyle, says, easy top decks over there. Clap, clap. That's hilarious. I don't even think like what I was top decking was that relevant. I think I was just playing super slow. And they just literally scooped immediately. You know what? I'm not going to respond to this guy. I will call him out though. Matthias Hardstyle kind of rage quit there. Okay. We're going to check out our deck real quick before I go. Just so that you guys can see what I did. So the list was, I think, pretty awesome. I wish I put a 61st card in there. I would have put GT in for the fun of it. Literally, the only reason I really put GT in Legacy is because it wasn't playable in Modern, but now it's playable in Modern. So I just didn't add it again. Also, my GT is signed, so like I like to show it off when I play Legacy. I don't even want to play it in Modern at this point. But yeah, the sideboard stayed the same. Everything from Legacy, the last Legacy game, stayed the same. So anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I love playing Magic the Gathering. I've really been loving Legacy. If you don't have a place to play Legacy, talk to your stores. Try and do some like full proxy Legacy if you have to. I highly recommend it. My store's been doing it. It's been popping off. And anyways, hope you guys enjoy the video.